Bum, 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 bum. 20 bucks. 20 bucks. You're on the line for 20 bucks. Keep on paying. Nobody's paying. No one's some nickels and some dimes. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. Hi guys, it's Jabor and Maggie, Mrs. Calabash. Come into my kitchen. Let's put the music down, maestro. Thank you. Just before we start, there's a lot of people using the internet today. It might be a little bit patchy. The audio will keep going. Derek is recording this program, so if we have a problem and he sees a need to put it up, we can put it up as a recording later on. I think we'll be okay, but he said it's just a little bit patchy. I keep looking out of the window for the weather. I'm a bit schizophrenic today. I've got a load of laundry out, heavy laundry that needs drying, but the garden needs rain. So I keep looking out thinking, oh yeah, it's drying, it's not raining. Let's hope the laundry dries, it rains this evening for the garden. And I'm making a Lancashire ham and butter spinach. These are very quick dishes, nutritious. It's not going to heat the kitchen up too much. I really got caught unawares yesterday because it was a nice cool breeze during the day and wham, the humidity came in. So tried to keep the heat out of the kitchen. Now for this ham, it does say ham steaks. I'm only going to do half because there's only 2 of us. I went shopping last week just to make sure I could get ham steaks because I know sometimes they're a little bit difficult to find. And the ham steaks were, I think they were $6.99 for a pound. It was a big ham steak, but they'd got a ham for $1.99 a pound. So for 12 bucks, I could get a big ham and for the price, less than the price of 2 steaks. So it just, just watch it. So I cooked the ham, I took some steaks off, cooked the ham, we've eaten the ham, I've made various dishes with the ham. If you go on to Mrs. Calabash on Facebook, you will see a cheesy ham and scallop potatoes. I was trying to think of the word of the potatoes. It is my own recipe because I like to cook the potatoes first. And I was using up the dregs of the ham, scraping off the bone and using that ham, so nothing went to waste. So let's go over to this stove and we'll start off with the ham. Now this gets its name Lancashire because we could use a Lancashire ham. I used to live in Lancashire in the north of England, and I'm using Lancashire cheese, which is obviously a local cheese to Lancashire, and it's quite a nice strong cheese. I've got noodles cooking in here. I just need to turn those up a little bit. There we are. In this pan I've got butter, just a little butter heating up, and these are the ham steaks. So once the butter's nice and frizzly, there we are. Let's just put this over here. So we want to cook the ham through. It doesn't take long. And we want to brown it nicely. So I've got the recipe, all-purpose flour. This is going to make a cheese sauce. I've got milk here to make the sauce, and also a little ham stock from yesterday from when I cooked the ham. So it's always a little bit difficult to say exactly how much liquid you're going to need for the sauce, because it depends how well you've weighed out. I always like to have just a little bit extra flour, just in case you might have to put some more in, and a little bit more liquid. Now you could, in this sauce, you could put, you could actually just add a little mustard if you wanted a little, a spicier sauce. And you need a hard-boiled egg as well. So boil the egg up first and let it cool. These hams are always partially cooked these days. It's not like the old-fashioned ham. But I like to make sure, in England we would use a gammon, which is, I think it's the leg of the ham, I can't remember. But it looks a bit like this, but it's got a completely different flavour. I've not been able to find a true gammon steak over here, and this is the nearest I can get to it. But you would eat gammon for back bacon or gammon for breakfast. Streaky bacon we don't eat quite so much. But we need this to get nicely brown. I keep turning it over because I want the ham to be flavoured with the butter. My very old carving fork. The knife disappeared a long time ago to that, but even the handle is going crazy. I think I got that when I left college in 1962, so it's followed me around. This stove isn't quite on the level, so that's why you will see me pulling the pan forward so the butter comes this way a little bit. Oh, it smells so good. Yes, that's browning. Browning nicely. I'm going to put that on. That's just to keep it warm. I've got the broiler on in the oven. Broil, yes, it's on high. So, look, let's see if I can pull this up. Can you see that? Can you see it, Derek? Yeah. So that's what I want, a nice brown finish like that. And that's got all the flavour. So we're going to transfer this to an oven-proof dish. I got 2 out. I'm not quite sure. I think I'll use this one. This is actually a pie dish. You can tell because it's got a rim around the edge for the pastry, and this was my mother's pie dish. Those noodles will be cooked. I'm turning them off now. Normally I would cook as they're needed, but I just want to make sure that they're actually cooked. Let's just turn this over. Just a little more, this one. It's not quite as brown as the other. And then we're going to make a sauce with this. So as I say, it really is a very, very quick, easy dish. You could eat this as I'm doing with noodles and spinach, but also it makes a good brunch. It makes a good brunch dish. So let's just put those in there. So you see, they're just in there. I want to keep these warm. So there they go. And now we're going to put the flour and the butter, the flour and the milk in there. So let's just turn this up again. Needs to be nice and warm. We might need, as I said, we might need a little more flour. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can move that pan. There we are. Then you can see what I'm doing. So I'm making a roux, and it's a little bit loose. I want that to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to add just a little bit more flour. There we are. And we want to join all that together like that. Just pull it in together. And when you've got the roux, I'm going to add just a little bit more. It's still a bit loose for my liking. And we want to make sure that the flour's cooked. So just let's cook it for a minute or two. Make sure all the flour has been absorbed. There we are. And I've got the milk. I add it by about 1/3 at a time and just cook it like this. Don't worry if it goes lumpy. The lumps will come out. There we are. Look, I've got a whisk just in case. We want to stir this in like that. Now I've not checked this for seasoning because I'm going to add, it's a little bit on the thick side. There we are. So I'm going to add a little of the ham stock. Now that will be salty. That was from boiling the ham bone yesterday. So as I say, nothing's wasted. So we use the scrapings from the ham bone for the supper last night, and the ham bone, what it's cooked in, gave us some stock which we can freeze for a later date to make some soup. So for $13 I got quite a few meals out of it and a lot of good flavour. There we are, almost there. If you like a more creamy sauce than this, then add a drop of cream. I might do that in a minute. Let me just put this in, see how it goes. There we are. Now we want to bring that up to the boil just to make sure that the flour is cooked. If you don't do this, if you don't cook the flour, it tastes really raw. You can tell if a sauce has been cooked properly. I'm just going to go over to the fridge. I'm going to get my egg and a drop of cream. It's just about at the end, the hard-boiled egg. Add a drop of luxury to it. I don't need that on anymore. There we are. Let's have a taste of this. That looks delicious. I love creamy sauces. It needs a little bit of salt and pepper, and this is a Mrs. Calabash mix, 3 salt, 1 pepper. It might need just a little pepper on its own. I don't know. Let's taste it. Let's turn that off. Let's just have a taste. You could add some mushrooms to this if you like. Ooh, that's okay. Yeah. It's amazing just how much flavour just a drop of the ham stock gives it. So let's turn that over there. I'm going to assemble this over at the kitchen at the butcher block, so come with me. We're going to take this over here. I need the egg, my dish, cheese, that's the Lancashire cheese. You see it's quite white, Lancashire cheese is white. The ham, and it's got some juice has run out of the ham, so let's just add that to the, and that's hot, so I don't want to mark my board. I'm going to put about 2/3 of the cheese in because I want some to go on the top. You notice that I took it off the heat before I added the cheese. It's a protein. If you boil it, it's going to go hard. And that's why we didn't want to add too much salt at this stage, because the English cheese is a little bit more salty than the Canadian cheese. Whoops. So, going to put the hard-boiled egg over the top. And the easy way to cook, I've lost the inside. I find the easiest way to cook a hard-boiled egg is to put the egg into cold water, cover it, put it in a pan, cover it with cold water, and then just bring it up to the boil and boil gently for 10 minutes. Turn it off and just put cold water over it, and that way you don't get the black ring around the egg. That usually indicates that the egg has been cooked too long. And sometimes if you get fresh eggs, really fresh eggs, they're almost impossible to peel. So it is better just to have an egg that's a few days old. Otherwise, you're never going to get the skin, you're never going to get the shell off without making a mess of your egg. So that's got that clean. I can see there's a patch there that's not been covered with sauce, a patch of the ham, and some egg that's not got sauce on it. There we are. And we're going to put some cheese on the top, like that. I'm going to just slip it under the broiler. That's the grill for my English friends. And actually, oh, hi Lou, that's my daughter. She lived in Lancashire for a long time and now back in Lincolnshire, so she knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to actually put a little tomato on the top there for grilling. There we are. I want to come back to that because I need that to make a bit of a salad with. There we are. So we'll slip this in the broiler and keep an eye on it. We don't want it to overcook. Now I've got a tray, just a baking sheet in the oven to put it on, just in case it bubbles over. I've had that happen before, and it makes an awful mess of the oven floor. No. Let's put these over here. Yes, lovely. So now we're going to do that's hot, the spinach. You can use fresh spinach for this, but today I'm using the frozen spinach. And I've got a packet of spinach, and I've had this out since about 8 o'clock this morning, defrosting. And it's just defrosted. So I want to squeeze as much of the liquid out of there as possible. And I find the easiest way to do it, you can do it with your fingers, but that's a bit messy, is with a potato masher. Let's have a look. And look how much liquid has come out. That's from a packet of frozen spinach. So let's tip that. There we are. So we just want to lightly cook the garlic in there. It needs to be just lightly browned, not too much. Again, a very quick and easy dish. And whilst this is cooking, I'm going to add, these are crushed peppers, a big pinch, or I like to have the spice in there to take away with the spinach. So I'm putting those in with the garlic, and by roasting them it will pull out the flavour. Oh no, it's bubbling away beautifully. There we are, that's nicely browned. Add the spinach. Just turn it round, and we want a good pinch of salt. That's pepper. There we are. Some salt. And we're just going to heat this until the spinach is heated through. Now, it will take a little bit longer if you're using fresh spinach, but just cook it until it's wilted. You can smell the nuttiness from the garlic as it's browned. Turn it up just a little bit. Not quite heated through. I'm just going to rinse the colander so I can strain the noodles. There we are. And this is where I hump and heave, because I've got the noodles in one of my beloved cast iron pans, and they're really quite heavy when I've got the everything in there. Let's have a look, see how this is doing. Oh, I think I might have over browned it. Let's cancel that. It really is. Ow. It's very, very hot. I don't know how I can get it out. Let's have a look. There we are. You can see it sizzling. So let's turn off the broiler. Cancel. There we are. And this should be just about ready. Let's just... I want to taste it again to make sure that the seasoning is correct. And if it is, we're going to add a little drop of lemon juice, and let's just heat the lemon juice through. Yes, that's fine. Lemon juice. And whilst the lemon juice is heating through, we'll strain the noodles. And the lemon juice will give it a little bit of a bite. let's get rid of that top. Wait for the grunting and the groaning. Ooh. There we are. Whew. Let's just put these over here. That's the noodles cooked. So what are we going to put the noodles in? Boom, boom, boom. Should we put the noodles in there? I think so. I've got another pot, but no, I think we'll put the noodles in there. Rice, noodles, whatever. They're very hot, as you can see. I never worry if we've got too many noodles cooked. They always heat up, and I can always make a dish out of them the next day. Derek is passionately fond of noodles. Once a week is about as much as I can eat noodles. But I like them. Yeah, Derek would eat them every day, so it doesn't matter if I've got any left over. They'll get eaten. I need to get rid of this, and I'm looking for something to put this on. Oh, I know, I took it into the garage. Let's put this board down because that pan is hot. There we are. There is one noodle which escaped. So should we add just a little butter to those noodles? There we are. A little butter. Let's go back. And that's nicely heated through. Whew. So what I'm going to do is, what can I put that on? It won't show up in there. Excuse me whilst I sort of grovel. I've got this little plate here. There we are. Now, that was a whole packet of spinach, so you can see it doesn't go that far. So if you really, really like spinach, I suggest that you would cook 2 packets of spinach. Because I could eat this on my own. I'm a spinach fanatic. But this just brightens up spinach. For anybody that's not too keen on spinach, this is a nice way to get them to eat it. So let's clean the dish off. I'll just wet this. I've turned everything off. Let's just, like that. Now, I like to serve this just with a little green salad. So I've got this. I'm going to sprinkle a little parsley on the ham and the spinach and the noodles. There we are. Now this is my grandma's little salad dish. So it's way over 100 years old. I think it probably was Victorian. And these are all homegrown lettuce. We've got red lettuce, and I will just serve this with an oil and vinegar dressing. So we'll just put some, I'm looking for different lettuce because we've got all different shapes here. The lettuce, Derek's lettuce has gone berserk this year. And I put a pot with little bits of, I like these, they're nice and peppery. It's not one of Derek's favourites, but it is mine. They're nice and peppery. And so I've got 2 big bowls of those growing. We want to put those there. A tomato, let's just cut out the core. And soon, one of the tomato plants is actually coming into flower. So, I'm not quite sure what sort that is.
Little ones.
Little baby tomatoes. They're my favourite. My stomach has to get used to summer again because every time I go past the miniature tomatoes, I eat them. So, and we have one dog which is passionately fond of tomatoes. He goes and helps himself. But it was also, I've had to put my bowls of lettuce up on the table out on the deck because he was helping himself to those, which I wasn't amused. Yeah, well, I don't begrudge it really, but I really did want to eat it. That's just a bit, not very nice shape. There we are. A little bit of contrast with some yellow peppers. We've got all sorts of peppers growing, and there's a nice purple pepper, is it, Derek?
Black.
A black pepper, sorry. A black pepper, so I don't know what that tastes like. Some nice red onion on there. I've not put this, I've not put any lemon juice or vinegar on this because it's a mild onion, a nice red onion. I'm looking for pieces that aren't too big. There we are. And I think on here, a little paprika pepper, just to add a little bit of colour. And that is a Lancashire ham, buttered spinach, and a nice green salad. So as you see, easy to make, doesn't take a lot of heat in the kitchen, and so you can make that, enjoy, either eat it on the patio, inside, have it for brunch, or have it for supper. So thank you very much for watching, and don't forget, please go on to Mrs. Calabash on Facebook, like and share, and I'll see you on Tuesday at 7:30. So have a great weekend, stay safe, enjoy the weather. Thank you. Bye. On the line for 20 bucks. Keep on playing, but nobody's paying. No man, some nickels and some dimes. 20 bucks. 20 bucks.
Their fingers bleed.
For 20.
Very good. Looked nice at the end with all those dishes.
Yeah, it's got a bit fatty this, but I'll just run some of it off.
Very nice, madam.
Does it?
Yes.
I'll just run some off.
You did well.
Well, that salad just brightened it up, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.